episode of Other Items of Interest. I'm your host, Jack Zablocki. On this week's episode, we learn all about the human body, inside, outside, everything. And we're not going to throw up once. Then we're going to go on a journey of the soul, figure out where I left my car keys. All that and more on this week's edition of Other Items of Interest. Watch for kangaroos. Ticked off anchor. Watch for kangaroos. Watch for kangaroos. You know what? I hate reading this goddamn headline. Ticked off kangaroo lets paraglider know who's the boss. There. That first part just annoys me. I don't know why. And it's ruined the show. Just from the start, right out of the gate. We're done for. Paraglider Jonathan Bishop wrapped up a 2-hour cross-country journey with a textbook landing in Madgy National Park outside Canberra in Australia last week. He was immediately greeted by kangaroos. That is so frightening to me. Paraglider, that does not sound safe, and then you land and there they are. He says, I was concentrating on the landing and didn't notice the kangaroos until after I landed, Bishop told website Viral Hog. As it ran towards me, I thought I was being friendly, so I said, what's up, Skip? But the rowdy roo had menace on its mind. It's really something to see. You should check out the video. It's in the show notes. Kangaroos are vicious bastards. Don't tangle with them. You stay away. This other item of interest comes from the Associated Press. Headline reads, T-shirt gun used to launch contraband into Oklahoma prison. An Oklahoma woman was arrested after authorities say she used a T-shirt gun to launch drugs, cell phones, and other contraband over a prison fence. The Oklahoma Department of Corrections says the incident prompted a lockdown at the North Fork Correctional Unit in Sayre, about 120 miles west of Oklahoma City. The agency says authorities arrested Carrie Jo Hickman after discovering the T-shirt gun and another package in her vehicle. Tulsa television station KOTV reports that the container that was launched Sunday contained cell phones, earbuds, phone chargers, methamphetamine, digital scales, marijuana, and tobacco. The following item comes from NBCNewYork.com. It's worth checking out the link on this one in the show notes for the mugshot. I can't tell if this guy is sheepishly embarrassed or just smug that he kicked a pelican's ass. Headline reads, Maryland man arrested after bragging about being wanted for attacking a pelican in Florida. A Maryland man wanted in Florida for an apparent attack on a pelican was arrested in Ocean City Friday morning. The Monroe County, Florida Sheriff's Office got an arrest warrant for 31-year-old William Hunter Hardesty after a video of a man jumping off a dock and landing on a pelican was posted on social media. Monroe County Sheriff Rick Ramsey said the bird nipped at Hardesty and got away unharmed. Well, good for that bird. Must have been alcohol involved. Who picks a fight with a bird? Maryland State Police received a tip Friday morning about a man at an Ocean City hotel bragging about being wanted for feeding and attacking the pelican, police said. Troopers arrested Hardesty without incident on the warrant, charging him with animal cruelty to migratory birds, that's specific, and intentional feeding of pelicans, police said. He is awaiting extradition to Florida. At Hardesty's home in Davidsonville, Maryland, his father said he received threatening phone calls since the viral video of his son. He said his son is a fisherman and would never do anything to hurt a pelican. I think the video might show otherwise. And this kind of thing happens. You're going to receive angry calls from pelicans. Pelicans are known to be a mean, nasty people when not respected. And it's something you're going to have to live with the rest of your life because they don't forget. They don't forgive. They don't forget. Never cross a pelican. From the Associated Press, man makes own sandwich, helps customers before swiping $20. Authorities are looking for a man who made his own sandwich at a Subway shop in northern Michigan, rang up orders for customers, and swiped $20 from the cash register before taking off. The Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office says the man told workers Saturday at the Subway inside a Walmart in Traverse City that he was an employee at another Subway and asked to make his own sandwich. The workers told him no, but he allegedly walked behind the counter and made his sandwich anyway. The sheriff's office says the man rang up several customers' orders and stole $20 before leaving. Now, I know he doesn't work there. He's not employed at this particular Subway. But this has several customers' orders, and there's nothing that says anything about any complaints. So you might want to say he stole $20, but I think he earned that $20, to be fair. The article, that was my editorial right there. That's not part of the article. Pardon me. The article continues. They're hoping surveillance footage may help identify the man. They're asking anyone who might know his identity to contact investigators. I'm calling no harm, no foul on this one, folks. I mean, we don't want this to happen to us, some stranger making our sandwich. I mean, I don't want to go to Subway anyway. I'm just saying, though, if a stranger was making my sandwich. A stranger is making your sandwich, though. Usually. Drop the case. This is too deep for any of us. Drop the case. This one comes from the website designboom.com. Headline reads, Restaurant will serve 3D printed sushi based on customer saliva and urine. Delicious. A Japanese company is fusing science and sushi to create nutrient-rich foods based on individual requirements. The company Open Meals, it's the company's name, Open Meals, wants to create 3D printed sushi by analyzing the saliva, urine, and stool of diners so that every piece is tailored to their needs. The concept envisions a restaurant that employs a system of robotic arms and 3D printers that are fed with biodata to create the sushi. The company debuted their 3D printed sushi at the South by Southwest Interactive Festival in Austin last year under the moniker Sushi Teleportation. It envisioned people searching, downloading, and uploading food data to a digital food platform that connected to a robotic arm which could 3D print pixel cubes made from edible gel. And this is really something you want to check out. The website it has a lot of great pictures of these edible cubes of sushi. Very strange looking. Some of them look edible. Others not so edible. Open Meals wants to use biological samples to create sushi that meets the nutritional requirements of the individual. It plans to execute the idea in its yet-to-be-launched restaurant called Sushi Singularity, where those interested in dining out on foods inspired by their feces, you want to be inspired by their feces, they'll need to make a reservation. After booking, the restaurant will send a health test kit inviting guests to mail back a vial of their waste. You put your poo in the mail. I mean, they write it like it's nothing, but when you start thinking about it, putting your poo in the mail, strange, odd. Back to the article. Sushi Singularity will then extract biodata from the samples to understand what nutrients they are in need of before sending that data to a 3D printed, to sending over and over again. They get the biodata, they send it to the robotic arm prints your biogel food, and you eat it. Then the robotic arm gains sentience, and the robotic arm wreaks havoc, and you got a franchise film series on your hands. Anyway, the company plans to launch in 2020. Check out the website, it's pretty cool. Designboom.com. There's a video also. This following article is from livescience.com. I think it was the title that caught my eye overall. But it's interesting nonetheless. The title is, "Sometimes this comb jelly has an anus, and sometimes it doesn't." Yeah? Got your interest? Article starts out, "Like a rainbow or a sunset, the anus of the warty comb jelly is a fleeting marvel." The warty comb jelly. The author goes on to explain, an anus is a gateway for solid waste removal from an animal's digestive system. In most animals, the anus is reliably found in one location all the time. But, and I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly most likely, the name of the jellyfish, Nemiopsis legi. Nemiopsis legi, a jellyfish relative that is also known as a warty comb jelly or sea walnut, is not most animals. I'd like to think that each one of us is not like most animals, because we're all special, right? Sure. M. legi's anus isn't fixed in one place on its gelatinous body. Instead of a permanent opening, a so-called anal pore. An anal pore appears when the jelly needs to defecate and then disappears immediately afterward, leaving unblemished skin behind. Isn't that amazing? Imagine that we went to the bathroom that way. You just dilate any one of your bazillion pores on your body, defecate, just like that, and then it closes right up and nobody's the wiser. I mean, I guess everybody would be the wiser since we all do it that way, but we don't, so let's move on. Unlike such close relatives as sponges and jellyfish, ctenophores, especially their bodily functions, are poorly misunderstood. I'd imagine it'd be hard to study a fish's butthole if it kept moving. In fact, prior studies had concluded that M. legi had a permanent anus. But when the scientists used video microscopy to closely examine M. legi larvae in adults, he discovered that their anuses were intermittent and that the jelly's defecation took place through an opening which appears and disappears, he's quoted as saying, in a regular rhythm. Now you see it, now you don't. This one comes from independentco.uk. Headline is as follows: Woman addicted to eating her own hair has giant hairball with tail removed from her stomach. Sounds lovely. A woman who was addicted to blowing out and eating her own hair had a giant hairball measuring 15 centimeters removed from her stomach, according to a medical journal. The 38-year-old who was suffering from nausea, vomiting, and an extremely swollen abdomen when she arrived at the hospital in the U.S. had suffered dramatic weight loss, losing 15 pounds over the previous 8 months after she lost her appetite. The woman was rushed into surgery where a giant hairball was found lodged in her digestive tract with a small tail of hair trailing into her intestines, and a second 4-centimeter hairball nestled deeper in her bowel. It's adorable. A little friend in there. She was found to be suffering from, I was making jokes, but now the next goddamn paragraph says she was suffering. So I apologize. She was found to be suffering from the rare Rapunzel syndrome, which has only ever been documented 88 times in medical literature. So that's very strange. I mean, I'm sure there's more than 88 cases worldwide, but it's a documented literature. 88 cases. That's interesting. According to the BMJ journal, the syndrome is caused by trichotillomania. I used to be able to say that word. A disorder that causes a patient to develop an irresistible urge to pull out their own hair and sometimes eat it. The condition is named after long-haired Rapunzel from the Grimm Brothers fairy tale. It's extremely uncommon, but can cause potentially deadly side effects and complications as hair becomes lodged in the sufferer's stomach. If you want to go to the show notes and check out the link to this article, it has quite a few images that you don't want to see. It's an old article. It's from February. It's from the Calgary Herald. Vulcan amends the town budget to buy Star Trek uniforms for counselors at $620 a piece. Vulcan's town counselors say their signature fashion statement is approaching the final frontier, and replacing the Star Trek themed jackets will cost more than $4,000. You see where this is going? The town of 2000, some 130 kilometers southeast of Calgary, has wrapped much of its identity in Star Trek mythology since it shares the moniker with the homeworld of the iconic Mr. Spock. Oh boy. And that means its mayor and 6 town councilors often sport ceremonial United Federation of Planet jackets. I'm not laughing at them. I wasn't expecting to see United Federation of Planets in this article, which they wore last November in Calgary at the annual Alberta Urban Municipalities Association convention. On Monday, council approved plans to replace their aging jackets, some of which have passed down from council to council for years, including one that's 17 years old. Vulcan resident Caitlin Berta told council the cost of each jacket would be about $620, for a total of about $4,340 for the entire wardrobe change. One of the councilors said he did believe the cost was a lot of money when he first looked at the estimate, but did like that a local resident is making the jackets. The mayor's opinion, Mayor Tom Grant, said he didn't believe Berta's per hour rate of $20 was out of line at all. He was heard to say, he was quoted as saying, "I did talk to a couple of other seamstresses, and they thought this was very reasonable." This is such a nice article. Council agreed to amend its 2018 budget to include the cost of the new uniforms. This comes from NBCNewYork.com. It's one of those cutesy stories. One of those funny little stories that happens to people out in the world. New York City man who owns 600 square foot apartment receives $38 million Con Ed bill. For those of you who don't know, Con Ed is electric company in New York. A New York man was stunned when he received a whopping Con Ed bill, one totaling almost $38 million. When Tommy Straub saw the astounding $37,974,401.35 amount as he went to pay his bill online, he didn't worry he would have to pay the jaw-dropping amount. Yeah, no shit. Nobody... There's a 600 square foot apartment. I'm sure that was his first thought. Where am I going to get the money for this? Anyway, he didn't have to pay it. He tweeted Con Ed and they fixed it. His real bill was $77. The end. And that's it. We're done. Thank you for spending some time with us. It's much appreciated. We here at Other Items of Interest thank you deeply.